we're on, and remember what we talked about.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Siri. I would like to welcome onto stage Crystal Asige. She is my boss. And man, let me tell you, she doesn't let me forget it.
Hey, Siri, can you just watch yourself?
Okay, sorry. I can't risk losing my job. Not after what President Ken Latta has just announced about taxes. Entitled Sexuality, we have worked very hard to put this together and give you an idea of the fun and games involved in the world surrounding sexuality and disability. Knock them dead.
Thanks, girl. Ring, ring. Hello? Hey, girl, it's me. Look, I really need to talk. Please tell me that you're free. Well, I'm kind of in Ethiopia with my work, so I don't know if Oh, thank God you're not busy. Look, remember that beautiful man I told you about the other time? Well, it's only about 1 hour until I see him, and I am going crazy. I don't know what to do. I've got nothing to wear. Is he going to freak out about this eyesight thing? Oh, it's going to be so awkward, Jackie. I'm starting to sweat, and I think I can feel a bowel movement coming on. Oh my goodness, Crystal, can you just calm down? I know that you guys haven't hung out one-on-one yet, and maybe he doesn't know the full extent of the glaucoma, but at least he knows, right? Yeah, I know, but remember that last guy at no, but nothing. Girl, you are hot. I wish you could see yourself. Look, just throw on a cute top and go and have fun, okay? Just like that, my cousin Jackie hung up the phone and my pep talk was over. So, I threw my swag on and off I went. There are about 4.4 million people living with disability in the country. And though this is a really huge number, you'd be surprised at how many of us are factored out of being seen as amazing potential romantic partners because of a national psychology that says, they don't want or need sex. They don't think about sex, do they? Would they even know what to do with it if it happened? I mean, surely these people aren't worried about makeup and beauty and fashion, dating desires, passion, romance, fantasies, when they have more pressing things to think about, like how they have a disability. Sadly, we are just seen as asexual. Oh, the date? Well, obviously, I absolutely crushed it. And we even met a couple of times after that. But though I'm an absolute catch, he just couldn't seem to see past these. And to be honest, I don't really blame him for the narrative that he must have made up in his head about how my visual impairment would or wouldn't affect us dating. Because, to be honest, I find that these stereotypes play up in my own mind. And although they don't affect my general confidence, they sometimes do affect my dating confidence. But I do have some really funny blind date stories. Though I feel like I need to respect these men's privacy. I'll just leave out their names, you're right, yeah. So, the ladies in here know that it is an absolute struggle to keep these men focused on a date, right? Right? Half the time we're thinking, excuse me, my eyes are up here. But for me, I'm thinking, excuse me, my boobs are down here. Because these men are constantly fixated on my eyesight. This one guy said to me, I don't mean to be rude, but I've always wanted to ask you, because of the whole eyesight thing. What would you like me to refer to you as? To which I said, how about Crystal, my name? And this other guy, on a relatively pleasant evening, said, "So, can you have children?" And I was like, "Dude, do I need to give you a bio lesson in the middle of this restaurant?" And then he said, "And if you can, how do you think you'll be able to manage to take care of them?" And I said, "Well, I'll just do what every other Nairobian does and hire a nanny." And this other guy, who I think was just after the experience of dating a blind girl, probably so that he could go back and rave to all his guy friends on their WhatsApp group. Bless him. And this other guy, who wasn't a date, just a man friend, told me, "Crystal, I've seen your photos online, and I've noticed that you look very well groomed." Yeah, I know, right? "How do you do that without your eyesight?" he asked. I was like, LMAO, dude, LMAO. And then on the flip side, there are those guys who are really relaxed and they don't really make a big deal out of the whole eyesight thing. They're the ones who, have a bit of fun with it. And they say, "Oh, you can't see? Let me take this opportunity to describe myself. I'm 6'5", with the body of Usain Bolt and the face of Will Smith." And I'm like, "Right, sure you are." Or there are the guys who say, "It's okay, don't worry, I don't mind," because I've just asked them, "Do you mind if I just touch your face, just because I kind of want to see what you look like, see if I can figure it out." And they're like, "Oh, you want to touch me, do you? I knew it. You just couldn't keep your hands off me since the moment we met." And I'm like, yes, that's it. Yeah, that's right. So all in all, there have been some pretty phenomenal dates, others which have been just flat out comical. And then there are the guys who are like, I'm just like, "Dude, pick up a book once in a while, could you?" But to be honest, dating someone like myself with a visual impairment or any other disability isn't really that different. I do everything that any other woman does in this room or otherwise. I go out to eat because I know how to eat. If you want to take me out for a drink, I know how to drink. I go out dancing, I go out to this beach, on walks, swimming, snorkeling, just anything that any other date would require. If a guy finds it hard to pay attention, or if articulating in a conversation is hard, or if chivalry to him is hard, then maybe not with me. But let's switch gears for a second. Let me ask you, in the last year or two, or heck, since Adam, was the last time that you saw a local production with an albino love interest cast? Or maybe a hard of hearing actor cast as the hot babe? What about a visually impaired person, VIP, as the independent sexual being? When was the last time you saw an autistic model? Or maybe a TV presenter in a wheelchair? Or how about an amputee in a massive beauty campaign? It's okay. I'll wait. The sex and beauty industry always leaves us behind. Their message to people like me is that they are pro-able-body and not pro-anybody. The more in shape you are, the more sexy you are. And so the antiquated message continues to perpetuate that, hey, sick is not sexy. And we all know about those magazine issues that do their version of the sexiest man and woman alive. A bit dramatic, isn't it? On one end of the spectrum, you find the ultra-beautiful, like Idris Elba. Yeah. And then on the other side is everyone with a disability. And if you find yourself lucky enough to fall somewhere in the middle, which is pretty much everyone in this room, at least you guys have quick fixes to turn to. You can buy foundation, you can buy a weave, you can buy a hairline. You can get your nose done, your lips done, your boobs done, your butt done, lipo, and other kinds of pills and potions at your disposal. But unfortunately for me, I have no quick fix. I'm just seen as somebody who is unattractive, undesirable, and an absolute burden. But I'm telling you, these are the stereotypes that I go through and I face every single day. I mean, you see me in the aisle in the supermarket, and you peek down at my basket, and you go, mortifying. Because you've just seen, I've picked up a box of condoms and a bottle of Shiraz, darling. And they're like, oh my goodness, this girl is obviously lost. Can't somebody help her? She probably thinks that that's a box of medicine in her basket. And that's a bottle of olive oil for that special diet she must be on because of her eyesight. No. I actually just have a really, really hot date this weekend. Thank you very much. And we're all making jokes about it, but honestly speaking, these are the kinds of stereotypes and myths that I need to go through, and everyone in the disabled community goes through in this country and outside. Just because I'm visually impaired, people think that my life is a mess, I'm probably really super needy and emotional, my flat is probably seriously dirty, and I can't take care of myself because I'm some kind of eternal child who can't have a partner, or let alone children, because, hey, she's disabled. So, in preparation for Dadasphere, I need to do my research, right? If I was going to stand in front of a room of people like yourselves, I was going to have to do my homework about disability and sexuality in the country. I needed to give this thing the time, the commitment, and the energy that it deserves. And what better way to dive into the world of dating and romance in the country than to open a Tinder account? How did I do it? Well, I recruited my trusty sidekick, Siri, to help me download the app onto my phone. And then I threw up a really quick profile, very simple. And then I got one of my girlfriends, Jasmine, and my mother, who's here tonight, to help me do the swiping. She has good taste, by the way. I was like, Mama, girl. Okay, girl. And of course, I did all the messages myself, the inboxes with the guys that I met, or that I matched with. And I split this into 2 different rounds. Round 1 lasted for 7 days, where I threw up this picture, and then I threw up this profile, and then round 2 was also for another 7 days, where I threw up the same photo, but with this profile, I did a little bit of an edit. In round 1, I managed to match with 25 guys. And I decided that if the chats were good and they were fun and lighthearted, after about 1 or 2 days, then I would tell them, very casually, oh, by the way, I've got this thing that I need to tell you. You should probably know that I'm visually impaired, but it's no big deal really, because I'm like any other person. After I did that, I ended up with only one guy. Only met up with one guy. The rest, after they heard my news, would either completely blank me, or they would unmatch, or they would speak to me for like 1 or 2 days after that, just to be polite, and then eventually disappeared. And in round 2, when I told them up front that I was blind, I only matched with 3 guys and met up with none. I've been able to live on both sides of blindness. Some of you don't know my story, but let me give you the quick summary. When I was 14 or 15 in school in Mombasa, where I'm from, where I was born and raised, I started to realize that my eyesight was kind of funny. I couldn't really see the blackboard very well, and I had to bring the textbooks closer to my face to be able to read them. But I just thought, maybe I'm just short-sighted, I just needed some glasses, and the optician will just sort me out, which he did. Fast forward to university in the UK, I went for another general checkup with the optician, but this time he told me, Crystal, I don't mean to alarm you, but you must stop everything that you're doing today and go to the eye hospital. Not another optician, but an eye hospital. There is when I did some tests and found out officially that I'm suffering from glaucoma. They told me that I have no cure. They told me that every year I will realize that my eyesight is getting less and less, and the darkness will become more and more, until eventually, VIP. Like I said, I've been able to live on both sides of blindness. And amongst all of the profound lessons that I've been learning about myself and life and the human condition, I've come to understand that the word disable just means unable, which we all are in one way or the other. Just because you're unable to swim or ride a motorcycle or speak in Latin or bake French bread, recite Shakespeare, design a website, doesn't mean that I stand in front of you to judge and reduce you to just being that. I've also come to realize and deeply believe that disability naturally calls for curiosity. It heightens creativity, and this disability sparks intimacy. And there are many sighted people who understand the same thing too. These are the people that understand that we all have limitations. It's just that some of us and our insecurities and our limitations are more visible than for others. They are the people who have learned somewhere in their life experience that there is more depth in what you feel than what you see. And they are the ones who are more willing to fall into an amazingly exquisite sense of what intimacy could really look like. And this is a place that's perfect to be vulnerable and to be expressive and to nurture and foster real communication. They're the people that understand that it's very romantic that my hands and my fingertips have now become my eyes. That my skin and my senses pay attention to every single detail about them. a place where darkness is safe, because it's only when our eyes are open that we suddenly become ashamed at our nakedness. And of course, I don't mean physical nakedness, because that's relatively easy to do. Getting emotionally naked, getting psychologically naked in front of another person without the fear and the limitations and the ego that paralyze us through our eyesight, that's what I'm talking about. And this is the place that I now get to discover, and I get to grow in. And I get to understand and find my way a little bit closer to my true potential at giving genuine love to another person. If you were born with a condition, or if you acquired one tomorrow, would you want your needs to be met? Would you want to live as full a life as possible and feel desired and beautiful, no matter your ability or disability? My name is Asige, and I am a singer-songwriter and a VIP ambassador and a woman.
Crystal, the room is standing up.
Thank you.
You're getting a standing ovation. That
Thank
was beautiful.
you. My love language is physical touch. I'm attracted to your voice and your spirit. And the man that's looking for me will find a very good thing. Thank you very much.